Now, the success of this election will mark how the U.S. opens its next chapter in Afghanistan, which Barack Obama has made a top priority. But with a low voter turnout forecast, it's not looking good for America. Well, we can now talk about this in more detail with our correspondent in Washington, D.C., Ilyana Minkovsky. Hello to you, Ilyana.
Hi, Marina. Well, we continue to delve a little deeper into these elections in Afghanistan. Now, with weeks to wait before the results might come in, people can only speculate as to what the results might be and what kind of a role the violence and the corruption may have really played in these elections. Now, while the Taliban threats did lead to a lower voter turnout, especially in the South, they didn't stop all Afghanis from going out and risking their lives to cast a ballot. So what is the mood there in Afghanistan? Here to discuss it more with me is Humayra Nooristani from Ariana Outreach. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first, you've been speaking to family, to friends there. What are the feelings that people are expressing?
Well, I actually was talking on Gmail chat with a few friends in Afghanistan this morning, and it seems that there were a lower turnout in the major cities in Afghanistan, such as Herat, Kandahar, and Kabul. So the Taliban threat really did get to the people, and not as many people did show up. However, speaking to my aunt last night in Kabul, she said that most people are very anxious. However, she thinks that it's definitely going to be Karzai as the winner.
Now, can we talk about how important these elections really must be if people are indeed risking their lives despite Taliban threats to go out and cast their votes?
Well, history shows throughout the world that people have taken major risks in order to bring about a change in one's country or their beliefs. And I think it was and that was one of the things I was doing through Ariana Outreach is I was trying to persuade my viewers, my supporters to just really go out there and vote and to take on the challenge and to not let what the Taliban or any other people who are threatening them get to them, and just to go out there and visit the polls that day. I think it is really important, whether we want change or whether they wanted to have the same president, that they do cast a vote so that it is a step further closer to democracy.
And now, is it more symbolic than just the actual gesture of people making it out and casting that ballot? How important are the results going to be?
That's an interesting question, because when my mother was in Afghanistan, she came back a couple of weeks ago. She was there for 2 months, and she was going around asking people about their views on voting in general and who they were going to vote for. And it seemed like many people were very pessimistic about voting because they believe that the results are already predetermined. So many people, they thought it was a waste of time to even vote because it was backdoor politics.
I see. Now, who would you vote for if you were there and you could?
Well, it's not a secret that I was supporting Abdullah and his campaign. However, I would be very happy if the turnout would be either Dr. Ashraf Ghani, who is an extreme, well-known academician here and as well as abroad. But Dr. Abdullah was my primary person I was supporting.
Well, it looks like Dr. Abdullah might have a chance also, at least at a runoff with Karzai, because of this lower voter turnout in the South, where most of Karzai's supporters would have been, right?
Maybe. Also, the votes might be split just because Dr. Ashraf Ghani and Karzai are both ethnic Pashtun, so the votes might be split between two. However, I'm optimistic that it would be Dr. Abdullah. However, I think from what I've been talking to my friends abroad and my supporters, it looks like it would be Karzai, Hamid Karzai.
Now, a lot of people are saying, too, that no one's going to be happy no matter what the results are. They're always going to have something to complain about. Do you think that there might be some kind of a backlash or protests and uprisings in Afghanistan once the results come in?
Definitely. I don't know how far it's going to go. I don't think it's going to be something like what's happened in Iran. But definitely, from what I heard, if it's not Hamid Karzai, there would be almost another civil war. That's from my sources within Afghanistan. If it is Hamid Karzai, I think people won't revolt as much just because they've been used to the past 8 years with the same leadership.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us today. And back over to you in Moscow. We'll continue to wait for the results of this election to come in.
Absolutely, Ilyana. Thanks very much indeed for this. Ilyana Minkovsky from Washington, D.C.